Hello, welcome to your macrame plant hanger kit tutorial. If you stumbled upon this video and you'd like to purchase a kit, the link is in the description. So everything that you're going to get with this kit is a wooden ring and pre-cut macrame twist cord. And what you're going to need is some sharp scissors and then some kind of S-hook, tack, or command hook to work off of with your project. So our first step is going to be to hang your wooden ring, and then we're going to evenly drape all 8 of your macrame cords over the center of that hoop. So find your center and then drape it over. So go ahead and drape all 8 of your macrame cords through your ring, and then saving that last single bundled cord for the next step. To secure the top of the plant hanger, go ahead and push all the cords as closely together as possible and find that extra strand that was set aside. And we're going to create a gathering knot. So to do that, create a loop on top of all those loose strands for the plant hanger. Hold everything secure and begin to tightly wrap the cord around the loop and all those other strands. If you need to remove your plant hanger, it's a lot easier to navigate this knot. So keep wrapping 10 to 12 times. And then on the very last wraparound, tuck that loose end through the loop and then pull the very top cord up straight until the loop on the bottom is up underneath everything that you just wrapped. This creates a really secure knot. There's no need to worry about your plant hanger falling apart or becoming loose. You can pull on both ends to make sure it's extra tight. And there is our completed gathering knot. And then of course I like to trim the little tails that are left behind just to make sure they stay out of the way when we're knotting, and it just looks a lot cleaner. So that is the completed knot. If you want to also tuck in those little frayed ends, you can just gently, very carefully do that with the point of your scissors, but this is totally optional. So moving on to the next step, we're going to start creating our spiral. So find 4 cords, and we're going to start by passing the outer left strand over the center, and then the right will go over that cord, behind everything, and through the loop. It'll look something like this. Go ahead and pull that up tight all the way up to that gathering knot at the top. I like to do it by securing the center with my middle and ring finger. It just keeps everything really secure. It doesn't bunch up when you pull the knot. So again, you're going to repeat that same sequence, always starting on the left, passing over the center, and then the right going over and behind and through, and then you pull tight. So to create the spiral design, you're just going to keep repeating this same sequence over and over. It's going to naturally start turning into a spiral, and you can keep doing this until you have about 3 twists. So we'll see that here in a minute when this is all complete.
Sorry if I'm still obsessed with you. Sorry if I'm still obsessed with you.
So you'll know when you're done with this section because it will look something like this. You will have 3 twists total, and then the very bottom will be at a flat angle to make it easier when we move on to the next step. And so the next part is just to repeat the spiral sequence 3 more times, so you will have 4 sections total. So find another 4 strands and begin tying the spiral knot. 3 more twists.
She loves me when I look my best.
You don't have to keep track of how many knots you're tying if you just line up each section and make sure it lines up with each other and it's even, then you'll know that it's going to look even when it's hung up as well. So just keep that in mind. There's no need to be super exact when you're tying the knots or keeping track or counting or anything like that. Just line up each section and make sure they all align with each other. Now that you're done with the top 4 spiral sections, we're going to move on and do the bottom 4. So to do that, we're going to first create a switch knot. So the easiest way to do that is to simply make your outer cords become your inner. So just do a quick switch. And this just helps eliminate any cord waste at the end of the project and make sure we don't run out of cord from one side. So on the right there's a clip, and this is just showing a reference between the top spiral and the bottom spiral and the space you can have between it. So anywhere from 6 to 10 inches is fine, and that will work. So go ahead and continue on your spiral sequence, and remember you just want to keep tying those knots until you have 3 spiral twists. So now that we're done with those 4 spirals, we're going to move on to creating the basket portion, which is going to hold your potted plant. So taking 2 separate spiral sections, you're going to take the first 2 cords from one and the last 2 from another, and you're going to use these 4 cords and create a square knot. So to do that, you want to pass the left over the center and the right over and behind. Go ahead and leave like 3 to 6 inches in between. And then to finish a square knot, you do the same exact thing, but you start on the right for the second half. So the right will go over the center and the left will go behind and through, and you pull it tight. And it should look something like this completed. And now go ahead and tie another square knot with the next 4 strands that are going to be directly next to it. So again, 2 from one spiral and then 2 from another spiral. And this is really going to connect them together to create the basket that we need. And again, you don't have to be super accurate with this. Just line up your knots as you're tying them to make sure everything stays even. Once you have your 4 square knots done, you'll be able to see how this kind of creates that netting basket effect where your pot is going to sit. And so now the last step is just going to be securing the very bottom. So to do that, we're going to tie one big bundled square knot at the bottom. So find 2 symmetrical cords, some that are kind of the longest of the bunch, And so find one on one side and then find that exact opposite on the other side. And you're going to tie one big square knot around all the cords to just secure everything in. So the left will go over all of those cords, and then the right will go behind everything and through that loop. Continue on and just tie about 3 more knots, and that should keep everything secure and sturdy for your plant. After you tie those last square knots at the bottom, we can go ahead and trim the loose strands to create a tassel. So this is totally up to your preference of how long you want your tassel to be. Just bunch all of those loose ends together and do one final trim. And this is the completed project. Thank you so much for purchasing this kit and doing this project together. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Bye.